Oh Capcom, oh Capcom, why in the world won't you just give us what we want? I mean, you're constantly teasing us and telling us that you will keep the dream alive, that the Marvel legacy, the Capcom legacy, the Marvel versus Capcom legacy will continue. It will always be the same. The tradition will never die. But as of late, and as of recent YouTube videos, it does not seem that will be most likely happening. And with that, I have a solution for you. I have 10 solutions for you. And as a matter of fact, it's a top 10 solution. I got the top 10 X-Men characters that will save your game, that will save Marvel Infinite from obscurity, from absolute banishment in the FGC, in the fighting game community. It will continue to live on as long as you follow this list. So, let us begin with my personal top 10 X-Men characters that will save Marvel Infinite. At number 10 is Quicksilver. Quicksilver is without a doubt one of the fastest mutants around. And of course, even though he is a mutant, the last time I checked, he also was featured in Age of Ultron, who is also a current character in the roster for this game. So, why not have Quicksilver return and get his payback on good old Ultron? Marvel, you have the rights to Quicksilver, and why not just use him? I mean, it's basically written in stone that Quicksilver wants to be brought back to life and be brought back into this game. Considering that this game is supposed to be your cinematic video game universe, I guess, at least that's what they're trying to run with. Why not bring back Quicksilver? And then if you kill him off in this game, that's completely fine, or whatever, however his story ends and begins is all up to you. But what I would like to have for the first time in Marvel vs. Capcom history is to have a speedster. I mean, you can look at your competitor, Injustice 2, and see how the Flash did it, and see how successful he's been as of late. At number 9 is both Wolverine and Deadpool. Now, before everybody gets their panties in a bind, I'm not trying to be slick, and I'm not trying to do a cop-out. I'm literally giving you guys a 2-for-1 deal. Both Wolverine and Deadpool, the merc with the mouth and the unstoppable, indestructible mutant himself, made out of complete animanium, and a loudmouth mutant who apparently is a slight rip-off of a certain DC character that we will not mention at the moment, Deathstroke. But fear not, for that the fans that are throughout the entire multiverse and the fans that have swarm conventions want Deadpool in this game, and fans of Old Man Logan and all of the original X-Men content that has been going on for decades now want the Wolverine in this game. So, Marvel, the ball's in your court to give Capcom the green light and put both of these Weapon X weapons to good use. Plus, they were originally in the Marvel vs. Capcom 3 game, and considering that you guys just love recycling characters and just throwing them into another game, why not recycle these two characters and just throw them into this one? It's real simple and real easy. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't take that long. I mean, it's the same character models. At number 8 is my lovely, lovely, beautiful mutant X-Men wife, Storm. Or should I say ex-wife, considering right now she's currently going out with married to a Wakandan king. But we'll mention him in a little bit. First off, this is Mother Nature incarnate. Anybody who is a huge fan of the 90s X-Men cartoon will know exactly what I'm talking about. As Storm conjures up a hurricane, she would preach to the heavens on the amount of destruction she would cause upon her opponents. And that is exactly what this game needs. A mutant that obviously can control the weather and use it to her advantages. Without a doubt, Storm is one of the most important X-Men along the X-Men long line of comic books, TV, movies, all sorts of media and whatnot, all throughout the Marvel Universe. And once again, I will iterate, she was in Children of the Atom, she was in Marvel vs. Capcom, no, better yet, Street Fighter vs. X-Men, then Marvel vs. Capcom, then MVC2 and MVC3, and in MVC Ultimate. So, how hard would it really be to bring back one of the most beautiful and most astounding characters of the Marvel brand? Also, she's currently married to Black Panther, and Black Panther is slated as DLC for this game. So it's only begging for the wife and husband and wife duo to show up in this game and cause their own storm amongst the roster of characters that are currently in this one. Next up at number 7 is yet another character who is part of the Avengers, but apparently Marvel forgot about that, or at least Capcom did. Somebody did amongst that office forgot about Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch is without a doubt one of the most powerful mutants there is, considering she rewrote the X-Men and pretty much the Marvel, considering the fact that she pretty much rewrote the entire Marvel landscape. I mean, she went into a complete mad dash to recreate everything to make peace amongst the Marvel superheroes and villains. And literally eradicating about more than majority of the X-Men in the comic books. She's one of the most powerful mutants, or better yet, considering we're talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, she's a miracle, a very powerful miracle. And considering that this miracle is owned by Marvel, Marvel can use this character and add it to their roster in later DLC. At least that's what we're hoping for. I mean, you know, she is an Avenger, guys, and considering that the most of the roster anyway consists of characters that is from the movies, why not add Scarlet Witch to that roster? At number 6 is the Juggernaut. Without a shadow of a doubt, one of the biggest and most scariest and most unstoppable, formidable opponents there is amongst the X-Men is without a doubt the Juggernaut. I mean, the Hulk has a hard time every once in a while, depending on the comic and depending on the Hulk, has a hard time defeating the Juggernaut. And the Juggernaut is always willing to go up against the biggest and the most baddest of foes. He may be arrogant, he may be a loudmouth, and hell, at times he's very funny on YouTube. I mean, I recommend there's some videos out there that are pretty hilarious. Aren't there, Juggernaut? Exactly. So, other than digging up the history on the Juggernaut, Marvel, considering that you did create this character, why don't you just throw him in here for, you know, just for laughs and giggles, just to see what he can do? I mean, it's been a long time since Marvel 2, and you know, the Juggernaut hasn't been around since then, and considering that there are a lot of characters that love to use projectiles, I would like to see big characters who are more grounded and that can handle characters that mostly use projectiles and just ram right through them. I mean, he is the unstoppable Juggernaut. At number 5 is a character that not Marvel, but Fox can't seem to apparently get right, and that is Gambit at number 5. Gambit is one of the most biggest fan favorite characters there is. I don't know if it's because of his attitude or why he's just so suave, or maybe it's because he's so slick with the ladies. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's his Louisianan accent that just makes people's knees turn into jello. I don't know. But Maybe it's his power to allow random objects that he touches explode, which is why his main weapon amongst his arsenal is a deck of playing cards. Now, let me tell you something. Playing a game of 52 pickup against Gambit will probably be your last card game you will ever play. At number 4, Magneto. I don't freaking know how in the world that this character is not going to be in this game. I do not understand in any fathom, in any multiverse, where this game is going to exist, where Marvel Infinite is going to exist and Magneto's not going to be part of it. Are you freaking kidding me? He's one of the biggest, if not one of the baddest villains amongst the Marvel comic book universe, and heck, even the Fox universe understands how powerful Magneto is. I mean, you just can't have the X-Men without Magneto. He's what drives the X-Men to do what they do best. He is the one that pushes them to their very limits. He is one of the most powerful mutants there is amongst the X-Men, and I don't need to praise this guy anymore. Yeah, he has the ability to bend metal. Yes, he can make force fields. Yes, he can teleport. Yes, he can fly. And no, he does not look like Nova, just to let a certain executive know that. Magneto is without a doubt one of the most important X-Men there is. At number 3 is one of my most favorite keep away characters. And yes and no, it's not the one you think. It's Cable. Cable is like the best type of character when it comes to using projectiles. He's one of the best mutants to have in your arsenal, for the simple fact that because of his hyper cannon that does like heck 50% damage on a good day, and it does like almost 30 hits for sure. You know, in Marvel 2, when they had the 3-on-3 and you pick Cable, Iron Man, and War Machine, and they did their supers, it did almost over 100 hits and did almost at least 100% damage. That's more powerful than the Shin Goku Zatsu on a good day, trust me. But Cable's a very important character. As fans can explain, and I'm pretty sure you guys can explain in the comments below, that this guy has an arsenal of so many different weapons, and plus he's like the future son of Cyclops and Jean Grey, who have recently been in some of the Marvel vs. Capcom games. The only one that hasn't been shown that much is both Cyclops and Cable, and out of the two, I really do think Cable needs to be the one that gets picked. And considering that he's going to be featured in the Deadpool movie, it's just basically written in stone that Cable is a shoo-in for this game. At number 2, let me tell you something. At number 2, let me tell you something. Ladies and gentlemen, I am about to talk about one of the most hottest, if not one of the most baddest female X-Men that there is. And that is Rogue. Oh yes, Rogue at number 2 is a diva. She is bad. I don't know what it was back in the 90s in the old X-Men cartoon era, but there was just something that drew me to Rogue. I don't know if it was because of her powers to steal at a gentle touch or even just a slight kiss on the cheek. I don't know if it's because of her yellow and green outfit with that brown jacket. Ugh. And I don't know if it might have been the hair, or maybe it could have been a certain asset of hers that really drew my eyes. And I'm pretty sure it drew a lot of guys' eyes as they started opening up to her. I digress. Other than features and looks and accents and whatnot, Rogue is without a doubt another one of the most important X-Men characters there is. And I know I'm just saying that and throwing that all over the place, but I'm just being honest. She's at number 2 for a reason, and she is probably one of the most important X-Men there is. And considering she's been there since Marvel 1, since Marvel 2, Street Fighter versus X-Men, since, well, it stopped at Marvel 2, because not since then have we seen Rogue. And I was really hoping that she was going to make it in Marvel 3, but that didn't happen. And I think it's one of those most important times when one of the executives is looking around and then they see this lovely little picture here, and then they're like, yes, she's in for sure. Before I get to number 1, here is a few honorable mentions. And now, for the coup de grace, for the cherry on top of your banana split sundae. It is, once again, and I will repeat myself, maybe I lied about Storm, maybe I lied about Scarlet Witch, maybe I lied about Rogue a little bit. Maybe not Rogue, and maybe not Storm, maybe not Scarlet Witch, none of the other females on this list. I have no disrespect for any of the females on this list, but this female, she has yet to be featured in any of the Marvel vs. Capcom games. She is a female that has a very good power set, and she has a set of skills that will draw men and make them bend to their knees and bow to her powers because of her ability to be able to mind control and whatnot. And then her ability to change form. And no, I am not talking about Jean Grey. And no, I'm not talking about the Phoenix. I am talking about Emma Frost. That's right, Emma Frost, the lovely white queen of the X-Men. She is so damn powerful that even Professor X can't touch her. And considering that her ability to change into complete diamond form only solidifies that. No telepath can get into her mind as long as she's in that diamond form. And plus, just imagine if that diamond form was like super ultra armor, like more better than the Juggernaut, better than the Hulk, better than Nemesis, or any other big character that is featured in this game or featured on this list. She could turn into complete diamond. And imagine somebody using a super move where it's mostly like a super Hadouken or Iron Man's proton cannon, and imagine that beam blasting right back at their opponents. Imagine that as she walks, oh so fine, nice and slow, as her opponent's constantly getting battered by his own projectile. Imagine that happening. Imagine the game changer on how powerful Emma Frost would be if she was part of this game. Or better yet, how she will be part of this game if Capcom and Marvel take the time to actually put in the X-Men. But I digress. Emma Frost at number 1, ladies and gentlemen, and bow to her power and bow to her whim, because she is one of the most finest X-Men and one of the most finest women of the Marvel universe. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed my top 10. And I know it's a little bit broken up, a little bit chopped, a little bit screwy, but I'm doing my best. As in, this game is really, really important to me, and I'm trying to give you guys my thoughts or my top 10s and stuff like that on how and what could make this game better. And I really think if Marvel and Capcom were able to get it done, if Fox was willing to play along I think that if the X-Men were featured, I think these 10 X-Men should be part of the game, without a doubt. Even the honorable mentions, for sure. But I'm not going to hold you guys any more longer. Please, in the comments below, let me know what you think. Tell me what's your top 10 X-Men characters, and let's start a conversation about why those characters deserve as much as the characters I have on my list. And if you agree, then agree with me. And while you're agreeing with me, hit that like button and also share this video. Spam it to Capcom and spam it to Marvel, because they need to know that we are X-Men fans, and we will not be silent until we get what we ask for. And it won't be that hard. Trust me. They will hear us. But until then, guys, it is your boy, the Supreme B-Man, and I will see you guys next time.